Okay, welcome to AI to Peace. We've got a really cool audience here today, so I'm looking forward to this one. This is the team of ASI, or at least a lot of the team from ASI. So I'd love to hear a little bit about your background and your journey, and I'm going to go with Humayun first.
Right, that's Humayun Sheikh. I'm CEO and founder of Fetch AI. Background started from computer science, did a degree, come from Pakistan. Did my bachelor's in engineering and computer science, took a journey to Cambridge, UK, did a degree there in master's in nanotechnology, and then I started a gaming company. And luckily, the gaming company which I started was with Demis Hassabis, who was the founder of DeepMind. So I then got involved in DeepMind as a initial investor, the founding investor, plus the founding first 5 team. So I was looking after commercialization of AI, which was, to be fair, quite a difficult task to do, especially in 2006, 7, and 8. So that's kind of my journey. We exited from DeepMind in 2014, and then I started looking at how we can take AI and actually bring it to the masses, rather than just bigger companies owning it. And then I started Fetch AI, which is a company which focused on agentic application layer and bringing AI. And that's kind of where we are currently. And then we went into an alliance with our partners. We're building multiple things in the sense of building AI, which is useful for individuals, and how we can actually commercialize it for people who don't even interact too much with technology.
Brilliant, thank you. I think, some people, the hype around AI has just exploded in the last couple of years. I think for a lot of people, especially outside of the industry, think, AI has just been invented. It's just come to market. So to hear that you've been in it, nearly 20 years, 20 plus years, it's phenomenal, really. Janet, I'd love to hear from you. What's your story?
Well, I was thinking where to start after my illustrious colleagues passed. And I was always a rebel at school, and I dropped out actually because my mum wouldn't let me get highlights in my hair till I left school. So I left school and got highlights and trained as a hairdresser. And at age 18, I got the bus from Limerick in Ireland to London and conquered this city. I did a degree in geology, and then I did a degree in petroleum geosciences at Imperial College in London. And that's where I started having a passion for the evolutionary sciences. And I joined the AI Society, the Physics Society, surrounded by this really exciting times. There was a brief history of time, there was chaos theory, there was the selfish gene. The sciences were an absolutely thriving place in the UK at the time when I was doing my degree, mid-90s. And I then went into a career in banking, as you always do when you start out as a hairdresser, through a geology education and into banking. And I worked in technology and risk in banking for 20 years. And I had a aha moment in 2017 when I read a Harvard Business Review article on how AI is set to take over the business world. And it concluded AI won't take over from managers anytime soon, but managers who use AI will take over from managers who don't. And I decided to do my second master's in artificial intelligence while working full-time in banking, thanks to my very supportive bosses at HSBC, and then got a job as head of robotics for TSB Bank in the UK, head of AI and robotics, and head of risk and controls. And I had the great joy of meeting Dr. Ben Goertzel, our visionary founder, through this path, and ended up working in decentralized AI, which is the job of a lifetime, with a passion for most advanced technologies at the forefront of our evolution, but being developed in a way that is focused on massive, unforeseen scale, positive impact for humanity.
Fantastic. We're going to come back to that, especially on the robots bit as well. That's coming up. I know my victim for this question now. And Matt, yourself?
Okay, yeah. So I guess I got into computers when I was about 5. I actually got given from my parents my first keyboard and computer, and that was it. I was away, started coding games out of books, and really kind of got on that train from then. And then I started my first software and computer business at 16, just finishing school through college. I had another one through university. I did a computer and business degree. And then some online businesses in the late 90s. And then 2000, actually started a data center and cloud company. And my passion has always been in, the infrastructure and computing, and ran that for 16 years. And during that time, that became one of the largest providers in the UK. We grew into countries all around the world, and we built infrastructure. And then we exited that business. And one of the things I saw when I was running that company was the huge amounts of waste in the data center and cloud industry. We'd have data centers half full, not being used, not being efficient, and lots of them using not good energy, dirty energy, basically. So we started Kudo to improve the industry, make it more sustainable, make it more scalable, provide people lower cost of access to computing as well. So really, if you can change those economics of people being able to get lower cost computing, and you can do it sustainably, then that makes a difference in society with AI technology and everything else that we're building today. So that's our real passion, is sustainably enabling access to global computing. And then we joined ASI, which is a natural fit to enable all of that computing resources to be provided as AI resources to the world. Basically, make it easy for anyone to access AI.
It's so fascinating, isn't it? Everyone's got such a diverse background, almost kind of like career Tom Bowler at some points, right? Let's see what comes up next. But it's all led to, the three of you sat here today as part of ASI. And it feels so natural, that progression of how you've got to that place. And so, yeah, anyway, wonderful. I'm honored to be here with the three of you today. AI to Peace. I mean, this is brand new. This is the first time, but it's from the team behind Peace One Day. Huge success. They brought World Peace Day last 25 years, and now it's shining a light on AI. I think it's a fantastic event. But what does it kind of conjure? What does it bring to mind? I'm going to start with you.
Well, it's a really great honor to be here, Pete, and it's an honor to work with Jeremy and the AI and the Peace One Day team. We're on the brink of a technological revolution which is unprecedented. It's going to be bigger, faster, and generate more wealth than any industrial or technological revolution in the past. We're still just in the foothills of the AI revolution, although at ASI we're at the top of those foothills, I would say, pushing it forwards. And what's the most important or the greatest imperative of our time is ensuring that this technological revolution benefits everybody on the planet equally, and that it can be used to break down the inequalities and the power stranglehold which big tech and large corporations hold on our planet's resources, and share them more equitably, lift up developing countries, and ensure that we eradicate world hunger, that we cure more diseases, that we bring prosperity, equally prosperity. AI is a human right like food or security or water. Bring that prosperity to everybody on the planet. And when we bring prosperity, with prosperity comes peace. Generally.
But if I go to, let's say I go to my mum and I say, what do you think of AI? Oh, if I ask my wife, I ask some of my friends, I think actually I am starting to see this kind of softening around it. And I think that's because everyone is seeing what AI can do and they're using it in their daily lives, and maybe they're creating action dolls that's still in their original wrapping, for social media or something along those lines. But right, so there's a kind of softening there, but there's at the same time there's a bit of fear. So I think it's only right that we kind of discuss that as well. And what are the risks of AI? What is there something to be fearful of, or is it all kind of hope and joy?
I think fear can be healthy for any new technology. Sure. You have to be careful with new technologies. It's the same fear that we saw in the 90s when the internet was taken off. To start with, people were going, this is just going to be used for bad and corruption and criminals. And it's not. It's in everything that we do every single day of our lives. And we're going to see exactly the same in AI. And we already are starting to see that. But then that just becomes part of everyday life. So what we've really got to do is focus around how do we make that safe. And one of the ones is putting guardrails in place. So the AI's got the ability to do so many different things, especially as you've got things like agentic AI coming out now, where that can take on lots of different tasks and roles. You've not just got one solution that you're asking for. Actually, it will go off do lots of different tasks, which means it's got the ability to go off and make its own decision and just carry off on all different sorts of routes. That's where you want to put guardrails in place to make sure it's safe. So I think having that fear is actually a really good thing. But we shouldn't let that fear slow technology down, just like we didn't let the fear slow the internet down. Actually, we built the systems to be safe, and we built systems so that everybody could use it. So I think that's the key bit. You've seen Terminator and these types of films.
This is where I was going. I didn't want to ego.
I think if we don't put the guardrails in place, then those are possibilities.
Well, let me pause you there, because I'm going to ask this to Huai, because Fetch AI is, specializes in the agentic side of things, right? So these are the agents, and go into an NVIDIA conference where they're talking about how the progression of agents, and that will become into the physical, the humanoid, right, with the agents in there.
I mean, yes, we can talk about agents, but generally, as a technology, AI, for me, and I think especially in the context of peace one day, it is quite interesting to see how we can actually do some very groundbreaking research, and we can do it very fast. So what it is enabling us to do is to discover medicine, genetics, discover new ways of making food, for example, new materials, which were taking us 50 years, 70 years to do some research on. It can be done in 2 days. I mean, DeepMind has proven that with, all the genetic stuff that they've been doing. And there is a lot of modeling which is happening, which is going to change that pace of discovery. But just coming back to the good bits this brings, we're doing some initiative of these AI models, which, for example, hospitals which cannot afford to build these kind of models can use. And that kind of comes with decentralization, because what we're kind of putting together is an infrastructure which you don't need to worry about. You don't even need to pay crazy amounts of money to one big organization, but can be used equally in any part of the world. So now coming back again to the agentic system, the agents can actually deliver those results to those hospitals, for example. So if you don't have the ability or the model to use this new technology, you can use the agents to actually deliver that result for you. Now, that is completely, looking at the other side of, the fear-mongering side, is that you can actually make this technology hugely, hugely useful for underprivileged areas, societies, and bring them the inclusiveness of all of that. And actually, the agentic systems enable you to do that. Whereas, yes, we all think about this one big AI which is going to control the world, but actually look at where we could actually make a huge benefit. We can increase the research. We can actually deliver that research to places which had no opportunity. And I actually kind of coming back into Matt's point of view, where, if you think about new technology, sometimes it's good to just jump. So, Wi-Fi, wireless actually jumped putting wires in, which was very costly. That's why some of the nations in Africa, for example, use M-Pesa before, you could use, the banking system. It's kind of removes the complication. The agentic systems actually deliver that result very quickly. So you need a Wi-Fi, for example, an internet, and you can actually access AI. Well, the flip side is that could become dangerous at some point, but taking to Matt's point, I don't think we need to worry about it. We just need to put the guardrails in. We just need to do that.
And just for the benefit of the audience, 20-second explainer. Decentralization was mentioned a couple of times. What does that actually mean?
What it means is no single entity should control everything. No single government should control everything. No single corporation should control everything. And everybody should be inclusive in this new wave of technology that is coming.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we've gone right through the roster here. Let's move on to hope and, what AI... I mean, it's already been touched on here. We've talked about medicine. We've talked about other use cases here. Janet, I'm looking at you specifically because I know you've been working hard behind the scenes with the rest of the Singularity team on AGI with humanity first. What does that mean? What have we got to look forward to?
Well, I have to say, even just being here with Jeremy and you and the team and these two brilliant partners of ours at ASI, I feel my hope overflowing, actually, with the compute infrastructure that Matt and Kudos bring, this agentic framework that Humayun has been pioneering in decentralization since, I guess, the OGs of AI agents in crypto. And then, of course, our colleagues at Ocean as well, and the data protocols and data governance, a decentralized approach to data management. With all of these components in the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, we have a unique opportunity. We're the only credible contender for the development of AGI and ASI outside of big tech. And that's really important. So at SingularityNet, we have a team of 100 AI scientists or so working on artificial general intelligence and more advanced forms of AI. We're a little bit maverick in that we take a neural symbolic and evolutionary programming approach to AI, not just the classic large language model, deep neural network approach that's so popular in industry today. And we harness all of those kinds of AI together, which with Fetch and the agentic networks, with Kudos and your expertise in decentralized, affordable compute and our colleagues at Ocean, give us this almost unfair head start in the AGI and ASI race over our competitors. So Ben has been working on AGI. His first serious attempt was his WebMind engine in 1998. And what we're now seeing in 2025, we're seeing a lot of the world's great research science teams actually pivoting towards Ben's approach, towards the neurosymbolic approach. But they are behind us because we've got those scientists. We started the world's first AGI society 18 years ago or so, or Ben did, and we've been running the longest conference series. So we have the world's top researchers. And what I'm actually seeing at the moment is it's like some kind of sci-fi party, because we're continuously getting approached right now by top AGI researchers around the world, or AI researchers who want to be part of the winning team. That's an exact quote from a incredible researcher, scientist, technologist from Silicon Valley that we hired, who started just recently, 2 weeks ago. What attracted him? He wanted to be part of the winning team. So we're on the brink of this AGI race revolution. We believe we're out in front. Clearly, we don't have the resources of an OpenAI or Google, but we have our own incredible resources in a decentralized manner with a giant community where we can scale our AGI development almost unlimitedly. So the future is potentially very, very bright if we together at the ASI Alliance are the organization of the Alliance, or the decentralized, talented people and resourceful people who invent this new technology. It could be a winner takes all scenario where whoever invents AGI first just simply takes over the planet, or that technology takes over the planet. And by making it decentralized and in the hands of everybody, we just enable like a complete reboot for humanity, for the better, for peace.
So cool. And I know you could carry on for 20 minutes just on that subject. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's incredible. And I think, what ASI has created essentially is a vertically integrated AI technology stack, which focuses on the decentralization, right? And it focuses on the humanity. So it's a brilliant story. We'll stop it right there on the ASI part. But, if anyone wants to find out more about ASI, Matt, where should they go?
To the website, obviously. So if you look at ASI Alliance, then that has the information on what the Alliance is working on. Like we said, it's across lots of different areas. That's probably where the difference is. It's the infrastructure at the bottom. It's the agentic platform. It's the AGI. It's literally everything that you can do to encompass distributed artificial intelligence around the world, but doing it sustainably. That's the most important thing. And I think the key is that for the internet rewired how people communicate. Now AI is rewiring how decision making works, and everybody can be part of that and integrate it and do it cost effectively. So that's all the information's on the site, on the Twitter account if you need, or X, if you need constant updates. So that's the best way to find out.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Final thoughts? Any books, quotes, desert island discs you want to discuss before we wrap up?
Well, we were talking about this. It's an oldish book called Life 3.0. So I think that's what we should be thinking about, and I think it's very good food for thought. And just to add to Matt's point of view, which is the vertically integrated stack, which is decentralized, is quite important, because if you think about how this whole AI space is going to evolve, you have sometimes getting an open source community to build around you and just getting that momentum around you is actually much more powerful than just having money. We saw that with BlueSeek, right? We saw that previously in China, but that's not necessarily that they didn't have the money. It's actually getting that community to actually get behind it. And in a decentralized space, that is something which is quite powerful. And we've seen again and again things. We talked about Bitcoin. Bitcoin was going to die. Naysayers said that, but it's still here. It's still healthy just because there is a community. So I think join this kind of AI race, but join it in a way perhaps which is decentralized, and you add to that your own perspective.
Fantastic. Mohan Sheikh, Janet Adams, Matt Hawkins, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pete, and thank you, Jeremy, and thank you, Peace One Day.